Hey guys, today we're doing another first impressions video on a foundation. This is the brand new NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. I didn't even think this foundation was available yet. Apparently I'm wrong because these were in Shoppers Drug Mart. If you're in Canada, you know what that is. These suckers were $18.99 each. Of course, that's in Canadian dollars, so it would be a little less in the States. You get the full fluid ounce and they come in, you know, fairly nice-ish glass containers with pumps. I'm holding two because I couldn't decide the shade. They had no testers in the store, so I got the palest one, which is called Pale. And then I also got one called Vanilla. Pale says that it's supposed to be very fair with a warm undertone. Vanilla is supposed to be a light with neutral undertone. I haven't even opened these yet, so let's swatch them and see. Okay, so this is Pale. Definitely very, very light. And this one here is Vanilla. I think that the Pale shade is probably gonna be the best for me. I do have like a tiny bit of color to my face, so I don't know, maybe right now it's best if I mix them together, but as far as I'm concerned, the very palest shade is Pale Person approved. It is very similar to NARS Siberia, if you've ever tried that. I think I'm gonna take the Pale shade and put just literally the tiniest bit of the Vanilla shade in there. Smells a little bit like paint, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna do this side with a sponge to see how that goes. I also have a brush that I'm gonna be using on the other side. And I actually don't have anything on my skin other than a very lightweight moisturizer. So I don't know if I said this, but the claims of this foundation are basically full coverage, and it even says up to 24 hours of wear. I have oily skin, so wear time is definitely important to me. Okay, so that is way too pale for me. I can tell you though that this right here is dry, so I'm not seeing like any oxidization, which is amazing. So let's try a brush on the other side, because I feel like with the sponge I probably only got to about medium coverage. I'm gonna see if it builds, so I'm just going to put a little bit over top of my scars here. I'm not really sure if it built that much. I don't know, I feel like even with a brush I was really expecting a lot better coverage versus the sponge, but to me it kind of just looks the same. My pores might look a little bit bigger on the side with the brush, so I'm just gonna go over that. It dries down very fast, and it is a very powder-like finish, like a very thin powder-like finish, which I like. I don't like when foundations dry with a very heavy powder finish that you can, it's very, very noticeable. This doesn't look like you're wearing powder, but it kind of feels like you are. It does feel very lightweight. I think it looks really good on the skin too. Like, I would say it looks pretty natural. Like, it's almost undetectable. It's not making any like texture stand out really badly. I mean, I really wish that the coverage was better. Okay, I'm gonna go put a very small amount of makeup on top just to see if I can warm up my skin a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put on some bronzer and brows. I attempted lipstick like 4 times, but it just wasn't happening, so I ended up just rubbing it off. The foundation still looks good. Obviously, the real test is gonna be how it holds up on my oily skin, so I haven't set it with a powder or anything, and I'm just gonna go about the rest of my day and I'll check back in with you guys Hey guys, the foundation has been on for almost 4 hours at this point, so we're about the halfway mark. And my skin is looking really, really, really good, other than my smile lines are kind of permanently cracked. I mean, I can kind of just rub it out. But I mean, so far I'm like not oily like at all. My face pretty much looks exactly the same. It's not like transferring, it didn't like wear off. It is now 8 o'clock in the evening, so I've been wearing this foundation for about 8 hours. And I have some thoughts. I don't know, I'm mixed. I have mixed feelings because on one hand, I feel like this held up pretty good against my oily skin. I don't feel like I'm uber shiny. You know, I don't feel greasy really. So I'm impressed with that. However, after about the 5-hour mark, I noticed some separation on my nose. There's some like darker spots on my nose. The makeup is basically disintegrating. But like up until that like 5-hour point when it started to do that, I was catching myself in the mirror. I was like looking at like selfie mode on my phone, and I was just thinking like, this looks so pretty. It looks so soft focused. I mean, yeah, the downsides are the separation on the nose, and then yes, the creasing did continue in my smile lines. You know, that one's a bit pronounced as well. I mean, overall, it has some good qualities. I just don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm gonna have to wear it a few more times. It looks good overall. It performed well in terms of oil control, at least to this 8-hour point. But it's just not invincible. You know, like I have other foundations such as the Estee Lauder Double Wear that would look as good as this at the end of the day, but without the separation and even without the creasing as well. So overall, I think this is one to try. I think it looked really good. I love the fact that it didn't oxidize. It had a really nice like matte powder finish that was thin and not cakey. It gets a thumbs up from me. I'm just not 100% sold. Anyway, that is the end of this video. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.